Delivering new products or shiny new features to your customers is not what is success as a product manager, but delivering value is. So, how do we measure that? Hello, everyone. I am Debanjan Mazumdar. If you are a new product manager or planning to be one, then I create content for people exactly like you. In my previous video, I talked about how outcomes are different from deliveries and how, as a product manager, it's our job to measure the outcomes. So I decided to dig a bit deeper in this video about the same. In this video, we will talk about what is an aha moment, as we call in common product management parlance. How do we measure the first time to value, and how to set up a PQL or product qualified lead. This video can get a little bit technical, but worry not. I have created a simple document which I will show in this video. You will hear my voiceover during that. And I have also created a checklist which I will attach to this video, so you can just download it and you can have all the value from this particular video. So let's dig in. So let's get to the first point first. What is an aha moment? An aha moment is defined basically as the first moment a new user feels real value. You understand what I mean, right? So, say for example, your user is basically using some of your analytics. So maybe when when the end user, a new user, opens a chart and they see an insight, that is basically your aha moment. Or say your product or feature is used by the user to share a document, and they share a document and they get the first comment. That is their aha moment. Or say they are an e-commerce user, so when the first time they are able to sell something and they get that payment, that is their aha moment. So that is, my friends, the key action what I have mentioned over here. You wouldn't count this sign up which is mentioned over here, but basically the your aha moment as a product manager is when a user sees or does a particular action. That is when you get the aha moment, right? So you have to just keep it to three simple steps: sign up, key action, and aha. So if you have more than one key action in this step, then basically the single action which most often leads to the aha moment, you should pick that. But if you have multiple actions mentioned under key action, then you are unnecessarily complicating the value which you will be providing to the user. So now here I'm making an assumption that you are using one of these tools, Google Analytics 4 or Amplitude or Mixpanel, to track user events. Even if you are not, then don't worry. We will touch base upon these tools, but mostly Mixpanel in one of the future videos. But I will also tell you what if you don't have these. But let's assume for a moment you have one of these things, these tools which are being used in your company to measure the user events. So you simply need to set up these three things in your tool: sign up completed, key action done, and aha reached. That's it. And that will basically tell you that okay, this is what is the key action which is being done, and this is what is the time taken to reach the aha moment. Now let's assume you don't have this tool access. Then what you can do is instead set up a small pop-up in your tool, maybe. So like, nice, now you have reached your aha moment, or now, oh, or let's make it more realistic. Oh, great, so now you have received your first comment, and see how many people see it, and that is enough to know that, okay, this is basically the aha moment, right? Okay. Okay, so now let's let's talk about how to measure time to value with two simple numbers. Now, the first obvious question which you would have is, what is time to value? What is TTV? I have talked about TTV multiple times in the previous videos. So today we address it head on. TTV is simple. It is the time from sign up to AHA. You know, the key action which we saw in the previous step? That is basically the TTV, the time to value. The time taken to perform the key action is the time to value. So, how do we measure the time to value? Just two simple numbers. The first one is percentage of new users who hit AHA in 24 hours. So in the entire 24 hours, you just simply have to have the percentage of new users who hit the AHA and the median minutes from sign up to AHA. So say one user takes 5 minutes, the other one takes 10 minutes, the other one takes 5 minutes again. So we basically have 3 users and the total time is 20. So that is what, something around 6 minutes, let's assume, if we round it up. So 6 to 7 minutes. So that is the median minutes from sign up to AHA. You need to find that. If you find these two numbers, you just have to make both better over time. The shorter the minutes, the higher is your time to value KPI. So this is what you basically need to measure. I hope it is clear. Now let's move to the third part. So now let's talk about the third part which I mentioned, a PQL, and how to set up a simple rule for PQL. A PQL is nothing but a product qualified lead. What is it? In simple terms, don't get misled. It is simply a user who likely wants to help or is ready to buy, basically. So a PQL is a user who had an aha moment and they satisfy at least one of these three qualifiers within 72 hours. What is an qualifier, you say? It is just a fancy term I named. Basically, they just can do one of these three things in the next 72 hours or 3 days. In terms of usage, they probably returned 3 times to your product or features in 72 hours and did the key action probably more than 2 times, reaching the aha moment. Or maybe they invited one teammate or someone from another team and or connected a new data source to your tool or platform or your feature. Or maybe they just fit the ideal customer profile, like the company size or the role. What is it? We will discuss about an ICP later. So let's for the moment not concern ourselves with this thing mostly, but let's focus on these two. So the simple rule what you can set up is AHA plus one of these two qualifiers in 72 hours. So either they had an aha moment and they returned back to the tool 3 times in 3 days, or maybe they did the key action more than 2 times, or maybe they invited a teammate who had an aha moment in the 72 hours, or maybe they connected a new data source which provides you with a new data set within the 3 days, right? So that is what. So I hope now it is a little bit clear. If not, don't worry. I am attaching a PDF of the checklist in the description below. You can have a look at it whenever you are stuck. But just to summarize what we discussed in this video, we discussed the value, one of the values which can be defined as a product manager when you deliver a new product or a feature. You need to define the aha moment. You need to define the key action which leads to the aha moment, and just define three simple things in your tool which you are using to measure the usage and feedback. You need to set up sign up completed, key action done, and aha. Or you can just simply measure it with a simple pop-up. The second thing we learned is about the KPI, TTV, or time to value, and how to measure it. Just two simple things: how many users, how much time it took to in 24 hours, and how the percentage median way of this time which is being taken by these new users. And the third thing, we set up a qualified lead rule. The two simple criteria they must satisfy to be identified as a PQL or a product qualified lead, and how you can use that. I hope this video has been helpful. I know it got a little bit more technical than I have been until now, and I still hope that you got at least some idea about it. If you have any queries or concerns or questions, just put them in the comments below. I will be reading all of them and addressing all of them individually. And if you have any bad feedback per se, or anything you want to tell me to improve upon, or maybe touch this topic again more in more simpler terms, put that in the comments as well. After all, as a product manager, it's my job to improve myself based on customer feedback, and you are my customer, right? So thank you, and I will see you in another video.